All right, welcome students. Looks like there's a lot of us in here, but I think it's four students. So I don't know if any of you know me, but my name is Ivana, and I work in the financial aid office at Santa Barbara City College. So when we are on campus, that's where you can find me. You can also contact me via email. Right now, that's the best way to contact me. I'm going to share my screen, and you might lose my picture or my screen share, but I'm here on audio as well. So I'm going to try and screen share where you can find some information that I'm going to show you right now on the financial aid website. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and just ask. Don't feel like you're interrupting me because I might not be able to see that you have a question. So I hope everybody can see this. It's the financial aid webpage. From here, if you click on the menu and then you scroll down to SBCC scholarships and click here, it'll take you to the different flyers that we have, that I've created for students to see what the different financial aid options are for students. So hopefully this works. I'm not sure if it will. So I'll kind of let that load. I did create one general study abroad financial aid flyer just for this session. But if you were to, once this loads, I'll go over there. But basically it has all of these different options for students where you can see all the different financial aid opportunities. So the main one is the SBCC scholarships that we offer. You can receive more than one of all of these different financial aid opportunities. So the scholarships here, you can see that there are specific deadlines for each program. So depending on where you want to go, you know, they'll all open up January 1st, but you have to apply by March 15th, May 1st, or October 1st, depending on your program. And you can receive, it's between $300 to $2,500 for the scholarships. It does depend on your program length. So the smaller dollar amounts will be for the shorter programs, larger dollar amounts will be for the semester length programs. Up here, just before I continue on, there are off-campus search engines that you could look at. This is basically if you wanted to research options for yourselves outside of what I'm going to show you. The link, this is also on our website. So yeah, these are all vetted search engines, so you should feel comfortable providing your information. If you ever wanted to research financial aid opportunities on your own, just make sure that you're not giving out a lot of personal information, like your social security number, birth date, things like that. Or if a scholarship site asks you to pay for their service, then it's not a real scholarship, because why would you need to spend money to apply for aid, right? So those are just some tips to kind of keep in mind. And it looks like the SBCC scholarship page loaded. So when you go from that menu to SBCC to scholarships SBCC, it'll bring you to kind of the main page that we have here. So it has some information. The link to the SBCC scholarships is here. Yes, question?
I just wanted to say that we can't see their screen anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know. So let me reshare. That's because I lost internet. Okay. So I'll just backtrack real quick. So from the financial aid webpage, when you click on that menu and you click on scholarships SBCC, it'll bring you to this page here with this beautiful picture back when we were allowed to be on campus of scholarship reception. But if you scroll down all the way to the bottom here, you'll see the different deadlines which match what I have on the separate flyers. So just depending on your program, make sure that you submit your SBCC scholarship by these dates. And then down here, you'll see if you wanted to, depending on your program, you can click on any of these and it'll show you the specific scholarship or financial aid opportunities that are available for that specific program, because not all are for each program's duration. So this one here that I've created, it kind of lists all of them in one place. So what I was talking about earlier about the off-campus opportunities and search engines, if you go back to the scholarship page, right below it, scholarships off-campus, I won't click on it, but it'll basically take you to the different search engines that you could kind of research scholarships on your own. So real quickly, again, this is the SBCC scholarship information. A lot of you might have heard about FAFSA. FAFSA is basically federal aid that a student can qualify for, and it is year specific. So for the summer 2021 program, you want to make sure that you have the current application for the current year, on file with the financial aid office to see what sort of opportunities you might be able to qualify for through the FAFSA for your summer program. But then for all of the other ones that are taking place next academic year, you want to make sure that you complete the 2021-2022 application, and that is currently open. So you can go ahead and fill that out, just get it out of the way. Sometimes students are selected for verification, so if you are selected for verification, you'll need to submit certain documents to the office, and it can take a few weeks for the office to clear the student's file once we have everything from you. So the sooner that you can get next year's FAFSA into us, the sooner we can get working on that. It is for U.S. citizens or permanent residents. And this is basically the general information or the general aid that a student can qualify for. Most of you are probably familiar with the Pell Grant and the loans, which would appear for students. If you're a California high school graduate and you qualify for a California grant, a Cal Grant, then that will appear on your award letter. And then the CCPG, that used to be the Board of Governors fee waiver, got a name change by the California Community Colleges organization to California College Promise Grant. So the CCPG basically covers the in-state portion of your enrollment fees, and it's only for in-state students. The application corresponds to the FAFSA years. So if you have the CCPG on file right now, then it'll cover you for summer 2021. But for next year, you'll want to make sure that you complete next year's application if you're going on a fall or a spring or a winter program. So because even though you're abroad, you're attending the classes through SBCC, you're registering for them through SBCC, you're still going to have that $46 per unit enrollment fee attached to that class. So if you qualify for it, it'll automatically cover that portion of your bill. And then same thing for this information from the FAFSA. Any aid that you receive or that you have on your award letter, the system's going to think that you're taking the classes as if you were here at SBCC rather than being abroad. So you would still be eligible for the same amount depending on the number of units that you're enrolled in. For any SBCC Promise students that might be listening in, same thing with them. You want to basically, they'll cover any enrollment fees, required materials, or textbooks that might appear on your syllabus for your classes. So I know that for the Germany program, there's going to be, an art book and then a notebook for the science portion. If that is on the syllabus, then the SBCC Promise will cover that material fee for you. So you wouldn't be paying for that out of pocket. It is very important that you apply for the SBCC Promise immediately after graduating or receiving your high school diploma. And then I believe it's about 2 years of eligibility that a student has. So if you have specific questions regarding the promise, you want to make sure to contact them specifically. It is run through the SBCC Foundation rather than the financial aid office at SBCC. So any specific questions about your eligibility and how to opt in, or if you've lost eligibility, how to reinstate your eligibility, you want to direct those to them. Any questions so far? No? Okay. The next scholarships down here are the Benjamin A. Gilman and the Gilman McCain Scholarship. These two scholarships are very similar in the fact that they're from the same organization, as you can probably tell by the names, but they do have different deadlines and they have slightly different criteria. The main criteria is that the Gilman McCain Scholarship is only for students who are dependent on an active duty military family member. So if your mom or your dad, or if your uncle or your aunt or your grandmother is your legal guardian and they're in the military on active duty, then you would qualify for the Gilman McCain Scholarship. If you are not, if you don't fall under that, then you'll complete the Benjamin A. Gilman Scholarship. That is for basically any student. For this top one, the Benjamin A. Gilman Scholarship, you do need to be Pell Grant eligible, either at the time that you apply. So this application will open up in the spring semester. If you are eligible for the Pell Grant during the spring, then you would be fulfilling that requirement. If you have not yet, if you're not a student currently at SBCC, but you will be going on a fall program, then you'll be doing the 2021-2022 FAFSA, and we would be able to see if you're Pell Grant eligible at the time that you will be abroad. It does need to be at least 2 weeks in length, so I don't remember for the Australia program if that's exactly 14 days or if it's a little bit under. You can check with Sally Sanger or Nicole Walter in the study abroad office to find out exactly how long that program is to see if you might qualify. And then for the Gilman McCain Scholarship, that one you just need to be receiving any sort of aid from the FAFSA. So that could include loans. It doesn't necessarily have to be just the Pell Grant. So those are the two main differences. The next scholarship is sponsored by Accent, and this is only for Accent programs. So if the center that you're going to be using, like the technology center that has all the all the computers that you'll be using abroad, if it's not sponsored by Accent, like AIFS, this scholarship would not apply. So it's only for their programs. Currently, the only program that SBCC is offering through Accent is the Rome program, and they do not have their application deadline up yet. They just have their summer programs, but SBCC is not offering any program through Accent for summer. So that's why that's blank. This one, as Nicole mentioned in the general meeting, you do need to have 12 units, 12 college credits earned and completed by the time that you go. This one does ask for letters of recommendation. You'll upload your unofficial transcript. You'll write a personal statement. And this one is very important that you have not already attended or not have already received your bachelor's degree from a four-year university. This is specifically just for community college students. And let's see. So depending on your program length, You could receive up to 2,000 or up to 3,000. In this case, for next year, it would just be up to the 3,000 because it's the spring program. This scholarship does have a little bit of work for you to do as a student. They do ask you to either blog or post 2 articles related to your experience abroad. So if you're not comfortable with that, it also asks you to post on Accent social media regarding, certain things that you're doing while studying abroad. So if that's not something that you're comfortable with doing, you might not want to apply for that scholarship. But I always say, you can, if you have like an assignment that you have to do, you can use that as your article or as your blog. So that's just something to keep in mind. These next 2, the first one is Fund for Education Abroad. This one currently, the application is open and it closes January 20th. I believe this application cycle is for the summer and the fall programs. So if you were to go back to the SDCC page and click on the program you want to go to, the ones that you're eligible for will appear there. So I think that one is for the summer and the fall program. This one, just like the Gilman, which I forgot to mention, it does ask that the program be at least 28 days in length. So I believe that the summer programs are, and the semester programs, of course, are, but the Australia program would not qualify for this one. As Carola mentioned, students that are at a community college are ones who are considered to be underrepresented, but they do give preference to students from underrepresented backgrounds or students that show a lot of need, meaning that, you might not be able to study abroad if you didn't have this scholarship. The nice thing about Fund for Education Abroad is that the least amount you can get is $1,250 up to $5,000. So depending on your program, if you apply for all of these and you end up getting 2 or 3, you might end up paying for most of your program, if not all of it. And then this last one here, Hi USA, they haven't updated their website yet regarding their application dates. But basically, they work a little bit different from scholarships in general. It's more of like a stipend. So if you are selected to receive their award, their scholarship, you would get $1,000 prior to going abroad, and then you would get the other $1,000 once you come back. And they also ask you to kind of post on social media and give them information about, your time abroad. And they also ask you to complete a post-travel survey. So again, if these are things that you're not comfortable with doing, you don't have to apply to these scholarships or these financial aid opportunities. I always encourage students to apply because you never know, what might happen. And if you were to get, a few $1,000s, maybe that'll push you to post on social media if you're not comfortable with that. If you feel that it outweighs your fear of social media. So that's pretty much it. I'm just going to backtrack here to the financial aid webpage again. I just want to show students how they can get to this page. So you'll go to the financial aid homepage by typing in sbcc.edu/financial aid. And then from there, you'll click on the menu. You'll scroll down to SBCC scholarships, which will bring you to this page where you can find the individual flyers for your scholarship, for your study abroad program down here at the bottom. And then if you wanted to look at different off-campus search engines for scholarships, you would just go back to menu, click on scholarships off campus. And that loaded pretty fast. You can see that there's 4 sections here. So you'll want to go to section 3 and section 4. Most likely section 3 would be the most, it'll give you the most opportunity. So you can kind of click on here. They may ask you to set up an account with them just so that they can better match you to the different opportunities that they have. And then section 4 are specifically individual scholarships, which we've kind of broken down by area of study or type of student, so incoming high school, foster adopted youth, adopted or homeless youth, women, Latinx. Yeah, so you guys can kind of take a look at all of that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and just open it up to any questions that you might have, unless I answered all your questions. And just feel free to unmute yourself and speak. Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any virtual programs available?
For study abroad?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that would be a great question for Nicole, Nicole Walter in the study abroad office. I know that certain schools are offering virtual study abroad programs. I don't know if SBCC has looked into that. So that would be something that you want to ask Nicole. And she'll be in the general meeting room until 1 if you wanted to pop over there.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm, of course. It's a great question.
I have a question, and maybe you're not the right person to answer. I'm assuming in order to participate, you have to have 12 semester units, and I'm assuming those are from SBCC. Is that correct?
For the scholarships, it's just 12 credits, 12 units completed, 12 college credit units completed. For our specific programs, I'm not sure if they can be from another school or from SBCC. I do know that students from other colleges who may not have attended SBCC in the past, they are able to go on the study abroad trips that are offered. So it could be that it's from any college, or it could be specifically to SBCC. That would be a good question for Nicole as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and one thing I do want to mention, the 2 different Gilman scholarships, the Benjamin A. Gilman and the Gilman McCain, I did check with the Gilman organization, and students can only receive one of them at the time that they are going abroad. So if you meet the qualifications for both applications, I would say go ahead and apply for both to kind of increase your chances. But if you're selected for one, you cannot receive the other. Yeah. Are there any other questions?
This isn't a question, but just thank you for putting this on. This has been super helpful for, I think, everyone.
Of course, you're very welcome. I try to also attend the different program meetings, and I kind of talk about the same thing. So if you ever have another question, you can see when I might be at one of those meetings, or you can email me. I'll put my email in the chat for everybody in case you wanted to kind of copy that real fast. My email is also everywhere on the financial aid webpage, so you can also find it there.